Hello. Investing in homes in America that are going cheap, being a foreign investment. I just watched a video that a bloke was saying invest $50,000 or invest $500 and you can get up to a 40% return in the 12 months. That can be quite true, but unfortunately you've still got to pay liens on the house. There are things like we got our house for $14,000. But we had to, look at my teeth, we had to buy a roof for the house, which that was another $13,000. Then we had to get a hot water service, another $800. And then we had to get the, electrical things done by the electrician. That was another $500. But, they're the little investments. Then you got the painting. Now, we've done the painting ourselves. We've done a lot of the renovations so far ourselves. We've made the house nice. But insurance-wise, if it didn't have a proper roof, that was going to cut us back to no insurance at all. Foreign investment is good, but at the same time, you still got to claim your taxes. You've still got to pay the taxes for having a home. But if you're investing for someone to actually invest for you, they make money. You've got to remember that too. You don't get the full kickback unless you own the home yourself. Do some research, find out. We got a good deal because after we got our roof on, our insurance said that ours is worth $177,000 if the house shall have any problems that exist after that. There is a lot of things like painting inside and outside the house. There's rotten wood. There's, the kitchen. We've had to remodel our kitchen again, fix up holes in the roof, remove dead squirrels. Yeah, there's a lot of things like that. Winterize. Now, winterizing means if there's snow, your pipes can burst in the snow areas, so the place has got to be winterized if it's not occupied, because then you've got air conditioning. Most people have air conditioning because if you don't have air conditioning here in the US while it's winter, your pipes will burst in some cases, or you'll get a lot of mildew and mold. If you've got a leaky roof, that's another part of it. Then you've got your property. You've got to pay your taxes each year. Ours is, say, $1,200 a year for land tax, basically, to have the home here. The neighbourhood, we got ours, as I said, for $14,000, and that was a good deal. But it's a 4-bedroom home, 2 bathrooms. But unfortunately, we had to renovate our bathrooms because there was holes in the floor from dunny rot. So we had to redo that again. We're still in the process of fixing up our second bathroom, and putting air vents and things like that. To make a house livable, you've got to really think, well, where you live, is that livable too? Some of these houses aren't livable until you put the money in to fix it. But if you're doing investment to do $500 for a year capital return of up to 40%, so really that's what's yeah, do your calculations from 500. If you're doing $50,000 for a return of up to 40% for the year, do your calculations of up to 40%. It's not a guarantee that you'll get up to 40%. Some of the houses are worth a lot of money, but when people move out, they get really shitty because they're bank foreclosures, and they take their hot water service, stove, dishwasher, and smash in the walls, because they're really pissed off because they've lost their home, they couldn't afford it, so why should anyone else have it? So they sometimes trash their own homes, or they haven't had the money to fix the homes, so then they're on low maintenance homes, which are in very good need of repair. But then again, some people look after their homes also. Foreign investment isn't always going to be the best return, but it can be a return of good money. You just got to remember that sometimes pyramid investments, that means stacks of people invest um, through one person, and they hope to get their returns back through that one person, is something that you've got to think about. Because you got 50,000 people. Say you got 20 people who invest 50,000, then you've got 20 people who's invested 500. Who gets the most kickback out of all that? But it's a good idea. It's a good idea if you want a risk. It's called a risk. Um, but I'm living here, so the risk was with my wife that we buy a home together, and that's about it. But yeah, just sort of as an Aussie, I know what it's like in the US, and not everything is as simple as just give us your money and everything will be okay and we'll give you your money back. Sometimes there's more costs involved. I don't know how they go, but try it out if you don't want to try it out, if it doesn't seem right. We looked at one house, and this is one thing. We looked at one house and it was going for 200 no $2,500. It was actually a burnt out house. Wow. uh, and the bloke said, we contacted the bloke, he didn't know what time it was or anything like that, and he said, send me $100 and to do the paperwork to this post box, and we'll send you the paperwork back and you can own the home, and you send the check to us. But that seemed a bit dodgy, sending a check to someone with no return, and we'll send you back the liens, or the deeds of the house. Yeah, we've found some dodgy houses which are, got a lot of kicked-in windows, and the whole garden is rat shit, not fit for people to live in, and floorboards all gone out of the house. This that looks good on the outside, and a lot of these things look good, but when you go on the inside and inspect, you get inspectors and all that. The whole house. What we see, one for 30,000. It looked good on the picture. We turned up there. It had no floorboards, no stumps. It was just a shell. It had the whole wood paneling. It was a very nice house, but the wood paneling on the outside was all rotten. I don't know about the inside. Probably the same thing. Staircase wasn't as what it looked like on the internet. It was all rotten. The whole staircase would have needed replacing, which was its second story. That was all rotten out too. So the work involved, what we worked out, would have cost us about $60,000 to bring it back into shape. But that who's working for it? Donations of investments, but the return could have been more, but we weren't prepared to take that risk of extra money that we could get something cheap. But the house probably would have been worth about 200,000 in its prime day, but nowadays buying materials is worth more than what the house is worth. So yeah, my opinion is, if you want to invest, look into it properly. Don't fall for it because someone said so that they done it, because we done it, but there was added costs involved. We still got to replace carpets, and we've got wood flooring. If you can see down there, we've got wood flooring in the house, which is good. Polished floorboards. But I'm an Aussie. I come from Australia. I live here now. I'm married to my wife, and we looked at a lot of investments. We're still looking at other investments on homes, but because I live here and I have a green card, different story than not living here and knowing the economy, the structure of the houses, the laws of colours of paint, and yeah. Anyway, I'm Paul Australia team and MensHelpTv. Ask a few questions if you like about foreign investments, and hopefully I'll be able to help you with what I've learned. Take care, Paul Australia and Men's Help TV.